Welcome everybody to the Thinning Out Loud podcast with your hosts Dan, that's me, and Liam.
Hi, that's me.
Here we talk about games, movies, and stuff that generally takes our fancy in the world over the last 2 weeks. We're going to jump straight into it, and we're going to start off with Fallout 4 has just announced a Game of the Year edition. What are your thoughts on that, Liam?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Don't really see it coming. So.
No,
yeah,
I didn't. We should have, because this is what Bethesda does with their games. You know, it should have absolutely been something we saw coming. But no, it came out of the blue for me. Actually, I did not expect this today. Will you buy it?
I've already played the core campaign. I've got the DLCs that I liked.
Yeah, I haven't even finished the DLCs yet. So. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'll buy it either. But I think it's a fine move. And it comes in time with their Xbox One X release. So yeah, it should be pretty good. So yeah,
it should be very good. Get more people into the sort of Fallout.
Do you think I haven't actually read the article? I just literally saw the title of the article, and as most people do in the world, I'm sure, completely based all of my opinions on that title. So I have no idea. I have no idea what it includes. Does it include all of the expansions and things, or
all the DLCs? So the story ones: Nuka World, Far Harbor, Automaton, and then the workshops, Vault Tech, Contraption, and Wasteland workshops.
Okay.
And apparently there's some graphical upgrades as well. Right. It comes on September 26th.
I wonder if they'll increase the colours from brown to brown. But yeah, it's
different shade of brown.
Yeah, just add different shades of brown. I really enjoyed Fallout 4. I still haven't finished playing it on my I didn't play through the main story. I only started playing on the DLCs on my channel, which you can have a look at on Thinning Plays on YouTube. Just a quick plug there for myself. And yeah, I think it's cool. I'm fine with it. I mean, we expect it from Bethesda, so yeah.
Yep.
Well, what's your next topic?
How Shadow of War has added microtransactions. We can buy war chests and loot chests and boosts and bundles and that sort of thing. That's kind of out of left field for me. I didn't expect them to add in microtransaction thingy.
I wasn't expecting that at all. Probably the last game on mine that I thought would have some kind of money for things in it.
Money to win, pay to win.
Yeah, pay to win. Since I thought it was just a single player game, it was quite out of the left field for me. It has come to light, that it has got multiplayer aspects in the game, like a kind of Clash of Clans sort of thing.
That's a separate game entirely. So there's with the game itself, the social aspects are when you capture a fort, you can set up your defenses with your orc army that you get, and you can release that to the wild, and people can attack your fort and see how your defenses are and that sort of thing. So it's all in game. And then there's also the vendetta stuff, which was in the first one, where if you get killed by a certain orc, a message will pop on someone else's game: go kill orc X or Y.
Right. I wonder if you can set up traps and things in your castles.
Yeah, there's a fair amount. You can assign your orcs to defend.
Right.
Points, you can chuck up traps and that sort of thing. But there's two systems as well. There's one where it's friendly, where a person can just attack it, and when they're done, all you guys will come back. Or there's ranked versions where if people attack it and kill your orcs die.
Like for good. Wow.
For good. Permadeath, so to speak.
That could become very expensive if you're paying for orcs.
Well, I think it's a fun game. It's where you get quite a few.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Nemesis system, it's your Talion will go into another person's world, and your hunt have to do things to make the vendetta orc pop up.
Can you take their super rare, epic kind of people under your own wing?
I don't know.
That'd be interesting. That'd be a cool way to
maybe if you hijack someone.
Yeah.
I don't know. turn them or whatever, they'll pop up in your game at some stage.
Like all you do is you target someone that is like super high ranked in the game. You go into their game and you just steal one of their guys, die, and then that's it. You know, like they've spent like hundreds and like thousands of dollars on these guys, and you just go in there and you like take their dude and run off. That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just a waste of time. Like they could, instead of building this weird kind of multiplayer side to the game, shouldn't they have just been focusing on this like single player aspect? Like this game, these games aren't known to be Shadow of Mordor was not known to be a multiplayer game. It had small.
I only had one multiplayer element, and that was the Vendetta stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But that was still
very light.
Yeah, very very light. So it kind of seems odd for them to double down on it, especially since they've already had like the kind of, I don't know, no one really knew what Shadow of War was until recently. Like the name Shadow of War did not call any kind of callbacks to Shadow of Mordor just because of the different name.
I don't know. I think it did a little bit, but it just hasn't been advertised as that heavily. Mind you, neither the first one wasn't advertised in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I think I was listening to a podcast ages ago with Troy Baker on it, and he said if this game didn't work for Monolith Studios, they were going to shut down. And then lo and behold, it sold gangbusters, and now they're able to do a sequel. You know, Resident Evil Fortunes can turn around with one game, really good game.
Well, you stole one of my topics there, Liam, which is fine. Yes, you did. That's okay.
But Monolith were going to shut down if the first one didn't work out well.
All right, so my next topic is Hellblade, the PlayStation exclusive that's just announced, or just been released in the last couple of days, is doing really well. It's getting really good reviews, mainly good reviews. I've seen a few low reviews for it, but IGN gave it a 9 out of 10, and I've seen 9s all over the place. So it seems to be really, really good. I've seen lots of I think, like I said the other time, what is it called? Demon Souls, or whatever you call it, being the kind of main kind of comparison, and then they really kind of give praise to the fact that it's dealing with a topic that not many games deal with, and that's mental health. This girl Senua, or whatever her name is, sees her lover sacrificed, and it goes through a mental breakdown and ends up being chosen by gods, and all this kind of crazy stuff happens. But she's crazy, basically. You play a crazy chick, and that sounds pretty cool to me. I'm pretty on board. I might not get it for a little while just because I've got some bills at the moment. Fucking bills, you know. Sony, send me games. Sony. So yeah, I am looking forward to playing it, but it's not something that's overly high on my list. What do you think? Have you seen any anything that kind of makes you want to play it or anything? Or
nah, nothing.
All right.
I just haven't seen it. To be honest, I haven't actually looked at it too much, so I haven't really bothered to digging.
Well, that's okay.
So,
you're up next.
I have to watch something to make a decision on.
Yeah, I haven't watched any. I've watched a little bit of gameplay that came out when it was still before it being released, but I haven't watched any like YouTubers play any of it or anything like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyhow. Shall we move on to the next one?
Sure.
So my next one was Deadpool 2, Josh Brolin, and the Cable costume.
Yes, I do.
Looks really good.
I haven't actually done anything to do with movies, but yes, thank you. Yeah, that costume looks really good. I like the faithfulness of it. It looks really nice. The kind of more bionic arm than the standard kind of
overlapping plate one.
Yeah, the kind of organic metal kind of one. I prefer it. I prefer it. I think actually, having that kind of separation between him and Colossus is kind of cool. The shining eye looks pretty cool, and he just looks like a badass, you know. So yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah, he looks like a grizzled soldier who's been through some shit. So.
Because back when we were when it was first announced that Deadpool was going to be doing, or going to be featuring Cable, we were talking about the guy from Avatar to be the guy that would do it, or he would be best suited. But I think this guy's come out, and just in the way he looks, I'm not sure about the way he acts yet, but the way he looks, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Josh Brolin's a pretty good actor. I don't think I've ever seen him in a role sort of along this vein before. I've always seen him in very serious things.
Oh, well, he's going to be the serious character in a very unserious movie, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of speculation about why he has a teddy bear on his belt.
Yes, lots of talk about Hope Summers and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, possible Hope Summers. I've read one where it's just like a remnant of his rough childhood, and the teddy bear was the only nice thing he had. I've heard that one. Yeah. So.
It'd be weird because they've got already been tipped for having the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People, a great New Zealand movie, in that Deadpool film. So having two children in it would be a bit weird. Although if like one is Deadpool's sidekick and one of the other one's Cable's sidekick, and they kind of have this weird kind of who's the better sidekick kind of rivalry thing going on, that'd be kind of funny. But yeah.
Oh, we won't know till next year when it actually comes
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
My next one is China introduces video game booths to occupy men while women shop in malls. Yes.
Right.
These are cubicles. They basically glass cubicles where a dude sits inside and plays video games while his missus, and it's like kind of like a creche for grown-up men. Like you have this. He's following you around like a sick puppy, throwing tantrums. He wants to go home. You drop him off at this little glass container. He's happy for a couple of hours. You come back. You pick him up. You put him in the car seat, and then you leave. I'm not sure if I'm talking about adult children.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. About men, boys, somewhere in the middle, both.
I just think it's a little bit like I don't know. I don't take it seriously. I think it's pretty cool. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I don't mind shopping with my girlfriend anyway. So it's not something that would. And also, like, what does it cost? I can imagine it being very expensive, because like you get those wheelie things in malls for your kids, like the shaped ones, and you wheel them around them, and they have like beeping noises and stuff and that kind of thing happen. They're expensive to rent. I could imagine these cubicles being really expensive.
For sure.
Also
what if we just turn into like the age-old arcade machine, so they should make it come back in all malls.
Yeah. I also saw a picture of I don't know if it was the picture they meant to use, but there was this dude sitting one, and he had his face in his hands, like he'd just been ditched there by his girlfriend, and he was like crying and stuff like that. It was really depressing looking, which I could totally imagine happening. Like, you don't want to spend time with me, you just want to play games all the time, fuck you. Yeah, I could imagine that.
Or it'd be the reverse, where he actually did want to spend time with the girlfriend, and then she was like, nope, don't need you here.
You go away.
Go stay here.
I've had that one before. Alright, what was your next one?
So it's sort of two that roll in together.
Mm-hmm.
Disney is apparently doing their own streaming service sometime next year, where you get all your Disney and Pixar movies in one place. So it's stuff like Marvel, Cinematic Universe, all your Pixar, Toy Story,
Star Wars,
Jungle Book, Lion King movies, all that sort of thing, all that in one solid place.
That sounds like a decent thing, especially for kids.
Yeah, indeed. Which also means they're going to start pulling down all the Disney movies that are on Netflix right now.
Of course, because you can't just have one subscription to one thing.
Can't have a multiple place. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to get all the Disney stuff. I don't know. I don't honestly know if Disney has enough movies or TV shows or what have you themselves.
Maybe they put some really old.
The back catalog is.
Yeah, maybe they put some really old legacy stuff on there, like the Sword and the Stone and the first like Jungle Book and Simba and all that kind of stuff. So, Lion King. So I think they have a fairly deep catalog, and I think it'll get more and more because they're doing like way more movies now than they used to.
Especially since they bought up Marvel. So.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like Disney must do at least like 6-7 movies a year now. It's crazy.
Right,
Absolutely
possibly.
crazy. All right. Well, you had a second one that kind of rolled into that one, didn't you?
Yeah, second one where Netflix bought the rights to the Mark Miller comic universe, Millerverse, I think it's called. So stuff like Kick-Ass,
Oh,
all the comics that Mark Miller has worked on over the years.
right.
So apparently they might start doing like movies and TV series, Netflix series based
Hmm.
on the Mark Miller universe comics. So that'd be quite interesting because he's always had a bit of a dark and gritty take on
Yeah.
pretty much all that. Even with like the Avengers series he did, the Ultimates, he always they were the same
Darker.
characters, but
Yeah.
gave them a dark twist.
Right.
To a point. It made them functional humans with a dysfunctional outlook and that sort of thing.
I could get behind a Kick-Ass TV series. I could get behind that.
Yeah, and there's apparently quite a big sort of original back catalogue of stuff that's originally hasn't been done in a movie or TV series yet. So yeah, it's quite a few. So could be interesting to see some dark and gritty superhero stuff.
Yeah,
instead of the usual rah America teams.
America teams.
I don't know. That's what you still get with like the Avengers. They're left to like the mainstream Marvel stuff is all very rah. Whereas when he took over the Ultimates, he sort of flipped the script and made him a fair bit dark.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Was it there at the time when they had the Dark Avengers? Ha ha ha.
Yeah, that's the Ultimate series or the Ultimate, Ultimate Spider-Man. That's all.
Oh, right.
That's he wrote the Ultimates.
Did he kill Peter Parker? No, that was Michael Bendis.
I can't remember. Probably. I don't know. I think it's part of it. So yeah. Could be interesting.
Right. My next one is Destiny 2 will not be compatible with streaming software. Now, this is blowing up all over the internet, but I assure you it's actually not a big deal. I don't... the way that I do streaming and recording of PC games, it really... Because I can't do full screen recording anyway, really, I have to do windowed recording because I've got obviously multiple things going on my screens at the same time. It doesn't affect me, and apparently that's the way a lot of streamers are feeling. But there are a couple there are a couple of bigger streamers out there that are getting really offended at this. But I think for the larger majority, this isn't actually going to be a big deal. I think people are kind of blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah, I'd like to see a number between how many people stream the game and how many people play the game and don't stream at all.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Disparity. I know there is a disparity. I just like to see an actual number. And isn't it only certain specific overlays you're not allowed to use?
No. So in OBS and other things, you can select the way you record a video, and that is either by actually recording the program, which can of doing a bit of research, can allow backdoors and things like that into the thing to allow hacking and stuff like that. And then there's just literally recording the window of a program, and so that you can't do the first bit of recording the actual program output. You can only record a window of the program. So you're still going to get the same resolutions, you're still going to get the same frames per second. It's literally just so that people can't hack the game, which is fine. That's perfectly fine on my box. So yeah, it's not a big deal, and people are blowing it out of proportion a little bit.
Seems like an odd thing to specify to be perfect.
Exactly. I don't know why they even mentioned it. I think they could have left it go under the radar, and then it be a kind of FAQ maybe later on their website, like you can't use this, you can only use this sort of thing. It didn't need to be announced as per se. But yeah, I don't know. Any press is good press, they say.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we're sort of trying to generate hype for
exactly.
Destiny anyway.
Well, no one really needs the hype for fucking Destiny.
Nah.
We're all buying it, Bungie. Just get off it, fucking. Yep. What's your next one?
One I saw today. Esports are possible at Paris 2024 Olympics.
What?
Yeah. So apparently the Olympics committee is going to start talking to the esports committee people. I don't know the names of these people. I just heard the thing, read some articles. Essentially, they want to introduce certain esports into the Olympics. Apparent, I don't know which ones they're actually going to do. And this is only in conversations right now about introducing that 2024 Olympics, which is in Paris. So, could possibly see Dota and Dota 2.
Nah, it's got to be something active like Nintendo Wii Sports or something like that.
So that's the argument some people are making, that what active games to pick, which games to pick. If it's actually a sport, is an argument I've seen. Is gaming a sport? Is esports actually sports?
I mean, it takes some endurance and definite skill, but whether it's an actual sport, as per se, which I mean, you can get injured playing sports. The only injury you're going to get playing esports is RSI. And you could get that
until someone picks up a console throws across the room at someone.
You could get RSI from wanking, let alone fucking video games. So it's not exactly fucking a big deal anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be interesting if it does happen. I can imagine there'll be a lot of uproar from I can imagine actual athletes going, whoa, hang on. The thing that my 5-year-old plays, that can't be a sport. And
I can imagine people who their game doesn't get picked, like they pick like Call of Duty but not Battlefield. People like just go mental for that kind of thing. I mean, forget women discrimination in sports or race discrimination. Game discrimination is going to the next one. Holy shit.
Yep.
The World War III game discrimination sort of thing.
Yeah. So if that was to happen, what games would you like to see on there?
What I'd like to see, if it had to happen,
If it was going to happen, what would you think? I imagine there would definitely be like Dota 2 and definitely League of Legends.
Yeah.
Probably one of the shooter ones, maybe.
I'd like to see like I
don't know what are the big esports one.
A strategy one, like a StarCraft or something like that. A fighting game. Fighting games are pretty intense. Those guys get pretty sweaty in fighting games. I think sports games would be useless. I mean, you've already got the sport probably at the Olympics anyway. But yeah, shooting games.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Maybe Hearthstone.
I can quite easily see like South Korea or China or Japan walking away for all the medals.
It's gold, the only medals they can get. That and gymnastics. So you got to give them something, I guess. Keep them from launching their nukes.
Also, that brings another question up. Do you have like an individual medal for each, like League of Legends, Dota, whatever sports game, whatever shooting game? Do you have a gold medal for each one?
I think you have to.
Yeah.
That just introduces so many more medals. That's ridiculous. I mean, there's already...
And yet they're taking away Greco-Roman wrestling out of it, so it's like, what the fuck?
And I mean, rowing has enough medals in it as it is, because there's just so many different levels of rowing and all that kind of thing.
So many different styles.
That's crazy. That's pretty mental. And you think they'll do it at Japan? You think they'll do it then? Because Japan's the home of video games, right?
The Tokyo Olympics.
Exactly. I mean, you think there would be like... I mean, they've got Mario as like one of the fucking mascots for the Olympics there. So you'd think that would be the best time to do it, but no, they do it in France, which...
Well, they don't need to add it to the Tokyo Olympics because they already have the Asian Games anyway. I think that's already part of the... I think esports is already part of that. And there's already, I think, an esports cup series in Japan anyway, so...
I don't know why they just don't run it at the same time. I mean, you don't have to put it under the label of Olympics. I guess no, because Olympics are fucking going downhill. No one really cares about the Olympics. I guess so. They gotta find a new market.
The actual viewers that watched the last Olympics, which was last year. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. Last year
2020, so it was 2016.
2016, that's right. So it's every 4 years. Apparently the viewers, there was like a 15% drop of viewership.
It's just not important. It's not something that the world needs to spend money on when we've got such problems like population issues and all that kind of thing.
The exact same thing about video games.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get, you're that's exactly correct. But I mean, we already have like the Diamond League and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's always going to be sports out there, no matter what you do, no matter how humanity may change in the future or not. There's always going to be sports. There may not be the same sports, but there's always going to be sports.
We're going to be fat people in hover chairs. Exactly. So I don't think we'll have sports then.
I think there's, it's still going to be a thing, no matter
virtual sports.
How far. Yeah, it would be that. I don't know. We don't know.
How would they test for
I
doping
think
in
sports
virtual
is going to be a
sports?
thing. I'm sure there'll be tests like make sure you're not a robot. Maybe you got to do a capture thing before you start.
He's AI. He's AI. You have to do the whole what do they call when you have like a piece of card and it's got like the time and date on it? I can't remember the fucking like cam girls do it. No, like cam girls do it and stuff like that. I don't know. Just to prove that they're real. I don't know. I should probably get off that topic before it goes really, 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 really bad.
That's awkward territory there.
Yep. All right, so moving on. My last topic is Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. Players could be getting banned for racism. So if you can get proven as a racist, yelling racial slurs and things like that, ban. What do you think? Does that offend you? Does it offend you that freedom of speech is getting blown out of the water?
I don't think it's freedom of speech. If you're going to be racist, if you're going to be hate speech to a certain group of people, then
I agree. I agree completely.
Get what you get. You're going to be a racist shitfuck, you're going to get banned.
Exactly.
I don't think I'm a racist person. I can't tolerate it.
I probably say the old racial slur, but it's not in like racist kind of terms. It's I just totally fucking just ruined my career just then. But no, it's I don't know. I mean, I have I have friends of different races. I don't know. It's just it's kind of another headline, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. I mean, you're allowed to have your own personal thoughts, but if you're going to do it in like a relatively public forum, like I know where like everybody can hear you, rattling away in chat. What do you expect to happen?
Oh, exactly. No one needs that. No one needs that.
Have your own opinion in your home and all that, but if you're going to do it in front of everybody and there's evidence you doing that, then
you pay the consequences. Yeah.
So.
All right. And what was your topic? Your final topic?
The esports thing was it. I mean,
okay.
I could go on about how
I stole the fucking Fallout thing from you, and you stole the other one from me. So we're even. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I could go on about how the DeepMind project for the AIs used in StarCraft 2 to teach the AIs how to do the AI stuff. So.
Okay. Yeah, I did actually read about that. I think the other day. AI is always going to be taking steps. I don't think you can stop it. I think you can probably put into place some kind of standardizations around it that could probably help, but I don't think you'd be able to stop.
I think that's what Musk and Mark Zuckerberg had a recent spat about trying to sort that out.
I think put a on AI. I think that's the it needs to happen with self-driving cars as well. We need like a big chat about that, about how it should work and what the limits are and all that kind of thing. But that's a discussion for people with much larger brains than mine. So yeah. All right then. Well, we'll move on to the review corner. I don't know. I'm still working on the tune for that. I don't know. I haven't found anything good for it. But yeah, obviously. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. So this week, I don't think we have anything in common that we've consumed this week, do we? I mean, I've been playing Just Cause 3. You've been playing Fortnite. We did that last week or last time. So do you have something that you would like to review?
I haven't really played anything new, to be perfectly honest. I've only been playing.
Watched anything new?
I've finished watching season 5 of House of Cards.
Okay.
That's an interesting series. I mean, it's Kevin Spacey, so he acts his way out. Sorry?
Did it end?
The end of it.
Yeah, did it end? Did the series end?
No, season 5, so it's like season 5 they're doing season 6 at some stage.
Okay.
The ending was pretty spectacular.
Okay.
It was, a hit out of left field, and I was like, oh god, this is going to change again. Frank Underwood's one of those characters that you love to hate. He's such like a dirtbag.
Yeah.
He does some like shitty stuff.
Right.
But just the way Kevin Spacey plays it is just fantastic.
Right.
He's such a good actor.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It was Pay It Forward was like one of my favorite movies of like all time.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really think besides that one, I don't think he's really ever played like a good character.
He
does like bad guys quite well.
Yeah. So. He can be. He was in Superman, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Lex Luthor and the Brandon Roof. Superman Returns.
That wasn't a good movie, but he was a good bad guy in that movie.
He was a good bad guy. He was a good bad guy. There's a few actors that can do that. They can do a good bad guy, like Gary Oldman. He always does good bad guys. As two names just spring to mind it right at this moment.
Well, my review is going to be of Just Cause 3. Just cause. In terms of gameplay, it's really solid. It feels really good. I still haven't figured out the whole, because they've added wing gliding into this game. It's a much faster way of getting around rather than the whole parachute gliding. Which is it's pretty good, but you feel like you're just falling towards the ground very, very quickly, and you got to kind of try and control it. And I haven't figured it out yet. But the only real downside with gameplay is the shooting is third person, and there's no real zoom to it. So you're effectively shooting specks on a screen, like from a long distance. It can be a pain in the butt. Story-wise, it's a Just Cause game. I mean, there's not really a hell of a lot of story to it. It's actually better than Just Cause 2 in terms of story. Like, because in Just Cause 2, you're just this dude chucked into this thing, and you're tasked with helping the rebellion. And this one, you're actually going home to your own island, to your home island, and trying to help the rebellion fight that there. So it's definitely a better step forward in terms of story. Graphics are pretty good. On the PS4, I noticed some lag when there's like lots of things happening on the screen. There's always a lot of things happening on the screen in that game, so you do get some kind of FPS drop in that game, even on PS4 where it's supposed to be optimized. I would probably give it 7.5 out of 10, just as a good way of an idea. I mean, it's a good game. It's just gonna basically fill my gap of August until Destiny 2 comes out, really, and then I'll probably never play it ever again. But it's a decent game. So, and it's free on PlayStation Plus at the moment. So if you got PlayStation Plus, you should go and add it to your library so you can play it at a later date when you've got nothing else to play.
No, fair enough.
And we've been doing this one since the beginning, but it's never really had a name, this segment. But I'm going to name it Consumer Nation. So this is the things that we are consuming over the things that we have been watching, playing, and reading over the last couple of weeks. There's always new things coming out. There's always new things to indulge yourself in. This is where we kind of recommend things to do just that with. So my first one is Game of Thrones, obviously for obvious reasons, titties and dragons and action.
That order.
Yeah, in that order. Yeah. And Cersei can go fuck herself, by the way. Fuck her. Fuck her.
I think Jamie's done that enough for her.
Very good. Do you have anything that you've consumed over the last fortnight that you'd like to recommend? Maybe a book or something like that?
House of Cards.
House of Cards, all right.
Yeah, the characters are shitbags, but it's still feeling entertaining. It's still well made.
Yeah. I'd like to recommend Just Cause 3 again. And my last one is a manga called Battle Royale. So it's kind of Hunger Games before Hunger Games. It is basically the story of a classroom of people, of kids who basically get gassed and then let loose on an island and ordered to kill each other, or they will die, sort of thing. So it is very Hunger Games.
Wasn't this made it into a Korean movie?
I don't think it was Korean. It was I
believe it was.
Oh, okay. It was live action. I watched it.
Yeah.
I have watched it.
For PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
To a point.
To a point. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. The movie was really good. I actually prefer the manga. The manga is really well drawn. It's super fucking gory, which is it's really amazingly done. Like, there's this one point where this chick is this chick meets her boyfriend from the real world, and he like tries to kill her, but they end up like hugging, and then another person from their classroom that they know comes up behind them and just shoots him in the head, and you see his skull explode out the back of his head, and then this chick is just in such a frantic, his girlfriend or whatever is in such a frantic that she's like, you see her like trying to scoop his brains back into his head, and it's so well drawn. It is really good.
Honey, that's not gonna work.
No, it's not quite gonna work. Yeah, so this story is really good. There's a couple of characters that you kind of like, but that's always the case in manga. So yeah, I definitely, if you're a manga fan and you haven't read Battle Royale, which is an old manga, so you probably would have read it by now, but if you haven't, definitely go give it a read. Anything else that you want to talk about? Let's talk about some NZ politics for a little bit. We always kind of end our podcast with a little bit of political talk, don't we?
Sure.
So NZ politics at the moment. Jacinda, can't remember what it was. Yeah, thank you. She's just been made the leader of the Labour Party, and it seems like a positive turn for Labour. I mean, pretty much, it's a bit of a good thing. I don't really have too much of a stick in any camp, really, to be honest. I'm not National. I'm not Labour. I kind of just go where it seems it will most benefit the country, sort of thing. So I don't know. When you're talking about American politics and it has no effect on you, it's easy. When you're actually talking about like politics, like New Zealand politics, it gets kind of hard. It gets kind of iffy of what you actually want to say.
I don't know. I don't really follow politics all that much.
Yeah, I only know.
Interested. I will vote, but I never really paid a whole bunch of attention. I don't have live TV anymore, so I can't watch any news networks that say this, and I'm a little bit too lazy to read it as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. Even on the news, it's like there's not enough actual information. It's all the same fucking stuff as America. It's all the fucking scandal shit, and I'm sick of it. I'm a young New Zealander. I have no experience when it comes to this kind of thing. I didn't vote the last couple of opportunities just because I had no idea what was going on, and I don't feel like the mainstream media is helping the young generation who don't know what they're voting for actually understand what they're voting for. So yeah, I don't know. I think there needs to be a change in that. But yeah. I think there's definitely some education that needs to come along with it, and I feel like I don't have the means to do that for myself. And my brother-in-law told me to well, he's not my brother-in-law, but whatever.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, told me to vote for Winston Peters. So and he made a pretty good case for it. So maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, I think of all the people that I dislike, I think I dislike Winston Peters one of the most.
Yes.
Seems like a bit of a blowhard dickhead.
I get that, because like as a younger person, like all my teens, I only ever saw him being really, really grumpy on TV all the time. So I always just thought he was just a blowhard. But apparently he's got some really good policies. I mean, it's all available on wikis over there. So you could people listening can take a little bit of time to just read through the policies of each party and things like that. And I don't know. I don't want to tell people what to do, but don't vote what your parents voted just because that's what they're doing. Try and take an interest, try and do some research, and try and vote for what you think is right for the country. So which I think is it can get kind of dangerous if you are just taking a side with your parents just because that's how you've been raised. But yeah, I mean, each to their own. Everyone's got their own right to do what they want. So I guess that's really about it. I'll get off my soap crate, and I'm gonna go to bed because I'm fucking tired and I got work tomorrow, like a normal pleb.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just can't wait for the fucking YouTube money to come and start coming. You know, I can fucking quit my job and
it's gonna be for a few years.
Oh, nice. We're gonna have to wait for Joe Rogan to die, and we're gonna have to wait
Hey! He's gonna live forever.
He'd live forever. Well, the amount of weed he smokes, I'm sure he will.
He'll just be really well preserved.
Exactly. Yeah. He'll smoke himself inside of a little container, and he'll be forever preserved. And he'll just have like this zip cord thing, like Woody, and he'll say quotes like those quotes that we were reading the other day.
You know, he's coming up to 1,000 podcasts.
I saw that. He's like literally 2 away. I think. I think he actually might have just done 1,000. I want to know if he's doing anything for it.
He's now apparently August 18th. I think is a post on his social media. So, I think he's up to 997. I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Is he doing? Is he planning anything?
Yeah, he's having Tom Segura and Joey Madflavor Diaz, or Joey Coco Diaz, or just Coco Diaz.
All right, well, maybe I'll give that one a listen. I haven't listened to Joe Rogan in a while, just because they're 3-hour-long podcasts. Who has that much time?
Some of them are like 2.5.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's so much of a difference of time between 2.5 and 3 hours.
Some of them an hour.
Honestly, I don't have that much time to be able to do that kind of thing. I really don't. I gotta sleep, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, when you're playing video games, you can multitask and have a podcast
I
at the same
don't
time.
get to play video games anymore. I get to record video games, and I can't listen to anything while I'm doing that. And I get to maybe play for like half an hour in the mornings before I go to work, or maybe half an hour when my girlfriend's making dinner. So yeah, and I can't stay up anymore. Like, I've just hit this wall. I'm turning 25 next month, and I've hit this wall where I can't stay up anymore. It literally kills me if I try and stay up past 11:30.
Make fun of me for
I know.
Like going to bed at 10:30.
I know, but now I'm like, I got home from my mum's at 9 o'clock, and I jumped into bed, and then I remembered that we've got this podcast at 9:30, and I was like, God damn, I just want to sleep. Fucking getting old sucks.
Body needs what body wants. Yeah, it does suck.
It does suck.
I mean,
I can't believe it. Like, literally 2 months ago, I was fine staying up till 1 o'clock every night. Now I'm fucking paying for it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh well. All right, I'll let you go. Oh, thanks, mate. And we will see you next time. Peace out. Have a good fortnight, and enjoy. Bye bye.
Goodbye.